Hello, my name's Chris. This is Blue Kraken Gaming, and welcome to the end of year supporter cast, or supporter bulletin. That was the name I settled on. So yeah, here we are, end of the year. I'm doing this one slightly differently, mostly because this is going to be available to everyone, not just supporters at the moment. Because at the suggestion of Alex, one of the channel members, he suggested that we do like an end of year roundup, which I thought was a great idea. And so I'm going to be jumping off with that today. So, you know, as usual with these, there's no script. It's genuinely just me going to be shooting the breeze for a little bit and talking to you guys about sort of usually how the last month has gone on. But for this one, we're going to be doing it for how the last year has gone. So, yeah, blimey. We've got another year gone and down, and it feels strange considering I've been doing this for, what, 3 years now, I think. I think it'll be the channel's 4th birthday in April time, which is going to be surprising. That's going to come around quickly. So, yeah, that's all sort of mostly thanks to you guys, because, you know, the channel doesn't continue to grow without you guys subscribing and supporting all of the rest of it. And that's why I wanted to make this one open, because when we talk about where we've gone so far this year, it's very much down to the fact that, you know, you guys are here as supporters. You guys are here sort of supporting the channel and trying to push it. And sort of, I just appreciate you guys being here. So, like, jumping off on that point, having a look, it was, what were we? Oh, swapped a couple of numbers over. So I'm recording this on the 30th of December. So almost the last day of the year. And when I look at where we started 2024, the channel had 596 subs. So just shy of 600. We're finishing the year on 956, which means there's another like 350 of you guys that have come through the doors. And I just want to say, you know, welcome to all of you. I appreciate you all coming in and watching the channel. We're getting very, very close to that 1,000 sub mark, which is going to be, to me, it's a nice mental milestone to get to, because it's a nice round figure. It was the old figure for when you could actually join YouTube as a partner, but they brought some of the requirements forward a bit for that, so you get access to some bits at 500, but yeah, it's a nice round figure to get to, and it's a big thing, because like I look into it and all the references I can find say like only 8-9% of YouTube channels make it to 1,000 subs. Most fall short of that. So it's, and I think they consider I think they talk about of channels that have at least one video up. So it's going to be kind of nice to be able to, you know, crack into that top 10%, which is kind of a nice thing. So yeah, hoping to get there. I'm still not entirely sure what to do for the 1,000 or to celebrate the 1,000 subs. We could look back at Subnautica. We could look back at the original video I did, because that was a long old time ago now, and I think I'm a lot more comfortable with putting stuff forward than I was back then. So yeah, that could be an interesting, fun one to look at. But when we talk about like how what's happened in the year, like I've just gone back to the videos that were coming out in January, and we were still on season 2 of Stellaris, which we're going to be starting, I think, season 5 in January this year, because we finished season 2, we did season 3, season 4 I tanked in the last month. So yeah, we're gonna have to start that again, because I just made a fundamentally flawed choice. We were still doing Satisfactory Update 8, so we didn't have 1.0 at that point, so we were way back there. It looks like we were doing Nuclear at that point, and we were still doing Stranded Deep and Ark. Now Stranded Deep we finished. Ark, I am well aware there are still technically 2 episodes left. I'm not going to promise when they're going to get done, because I've just been sidetracked and pulled in like so many other things that have grabbed my attention since then. So I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but I'm not sure when we'll get around to doing those. But then, yeah, also throughout the year, we've started and finished Dyson Sphere program, which was kind of nice. We had the Farthest Frontier holiday series. We did Manor Lords, which everyone's raving about it, but I have to admit, I don't think it quite gelled with me as much as I was hoping it would, which is a bit of a shame, but, it is what it is. We've also got Oxygen not included, but again, that was a series that kind of fizzled a little bit, which is why it kind of went away for a bit. So, yeah, we haven't worried about that. We touched on Frostpunk, but again, Frostpunk 2 died pretty much on its face. And then we've got Season 1 of Satisfactory, and we're now basically just running Satisfactory, Asker, and, like I say, it'll be Season 5 of Stellaris when I get back around to recording properly again in the new year. So, quite a few games that we've gone through. I have to admit, not quite as many as I thought, actually. When I sat down to start and record this, I thought we'd be doing... I thought we'd have done a few more than that, but that's where we are. Plans for the new year coming up. Understandably, we're going to be continuing to work with Satisfactory because, that's kind of like the flagship thing that most of you are here to watch. So we'll be going on with that. Asker will continue. It doesn't have, as far as I'm aware, like a definitive end point. So I'm just going to keep doing that until like the views kind of fizzle and everyone seems to get bored with it. But at the moment, it's doing pretty healthy. So we're going to continue with that. We are naturally going to, like I've mentioned, going to do a Season 5 of Stellaris because Season 4 was just too short due to my own errors. So I've got to think what kind of empire we're going to want to do for that. And I'm leaning towards maybe like a devouring swarm, just go full on offensive and try and eat everyone. I think that could be an interesting one. Or I might do a driven assimilator, and then we can make nanites on that one. Ooh, that could be an interesting... Yeah, I might do driven assimilator then, actually. Yeah, trying to assimilate everyone. Go full on Borg on it, which would be interesting. And then ascend into nanites. Yeah, I think that might be what we wind up doing with that. The other games that I've kind of got like in the back of my mind to try and circle round to, Raft is one that we're going to have. I want to have a look at because I've had that in my Steam library for a while. It's one that I think a few of you would be quite interested in doing. So I do think we're going to try and circle round to having a look at Raft. Other than that, I'm pretty open to things as they come out. Like, understandably, I'm going to want to do Subnautica 2 when it comes out, but I don't know exactly when that's launching into early access. And again, with that, I'm going to probably try and and hold off a little bit because I don't know whether that is something I want to do at launch, like immediately while they're still building it, or whether I want to wait for that to settle so we've got a bit of content to do. Because along those lines, in my own time, I've been playing Astrometica, which is great. It's very much Subnautica in space, and even the devs have put like a load of little Easter eggs in there so you can see that they've pulled their inspiration from it. But that's still also in very early access, and I am struggling to find much of a drive to like push too far because I know it's not complete, and I know I'm just going to hit a brick wall at some point because there'll just be no further content. So that's where I'm kind of up in arms on Subnautica and what to do with that. Other things I've been playing in my own time in the holiday season, I've played some Conan Exiles because I picked that up, and I've just been working through that on my own. But what's really sucked up my time over the last 2 weeks is Dragon Age: The Veilguard, which I have been loving, really loving the Veilguard. I played the original Dragon Age when it came out, and I've played all of the others since as they've come through. Not necessarily on PC. I had them on console back then. But yeah, I love Dragon Age, and I'm really enjoying the Veilguard. And I know there are some criticisms about it that people are, picking out and poking holes, but I've not found any of their concerns forced upon me. And I'm going to leave it at that because, yeah, I'm not having a problem with it, and I'm just thoroughly enjoying it as a game. Looking forward to finishing that, and then I'm probably going to move on to Space Marine 2 in my own time. Now, Space Marine 2, I'm looking forward to playing that because I love the first one, but I'm not going to put that on the channel because that is, if it's anything like the first one, a very linear game. And the last time I tried to do one of those was Star Wars Jedi Survivor. No, not Survivor. Jedi Fallen Order, and it didn't do very well. And the reason I think that is, and you guys can tell me in the comments below whether you agree or not, is because you guys mostly seem to come here for a lot of like the building stuff, like Satisfactory, so you can see how someone does something different to how you've gone about it. With a linear game, even though they're great action adventures, there's good stories involved, there is only one way to go through it. So like if you've played it yourself, there'll be no surprises watching me play it. So I think that's why they don't do so well. RPGs I'd love to try and do a bit more, like Dragon Age or Mass Effect and things like that, but again, they don't seem to have done very well on the channel. Like, there is a whole series where we did the whole of the first Mass Effect, and last time I checked it, and I'm just going to go back and have another look now, I'm pretty sure when we did that, right, there we go, videos. Yeah, not the finale, but the episode before the finale, so episode 21 of Mass Effect, even though it came out in September 22, still has 0 views. No one has watched that video, which was weird that people went from episode 20 to episode 22. But it didn't seem to do very well, and like the whole series didn't do very well. Like most of the videos have less than 10 views, which is a shame because I love Mass Effect. It's one of my favourite games of all time, and I'd love to do more RPG-based content where there are those branching choices, and you could see how people do things differently to you. But again, I don't think that's what you guys are interested in. I think you guys as a community are much more a show us the building, which is why stuff like Asker, Satisfactory, that kind of gubbins is doing very well. Stellaris is kind of the outlier there, but that just seems to have grabbed a few of you and we're running with it. So I'm just going to continue with that front. Excuse me, I'm still a little bit out of breath from where I had some horrible colds, which I know some of you heard on some of the end of the episodes that came out at the end of the year. Yeah, wound up going to the GP for that, which is a primary care physician. For those of you in the US, I don't know that you guys have GPs, but it's who you go to before a hospital, basically. And yeah, they wound up putting me on a course of antibiotics to try and clear that because they basically confirmed that I had a full-on chest infection that was just covering everything up. So yeah, I finished all those antibiotics before Christmas, but yeah, I'm still feeling a bit the after effects where everything's still trying to clear itself out. So apologies if I'm a little bit out of breath as I'm talking. But it's shaping up to be an exciting year. I'm looking forward to it. I don't have any grand plans because, as most of you guys know, I like to try and do this pretty real, pretty unedited, very off the cuff, so you guys get those reactions and how things are behaving. So I don't have much of a massive unfolding plan going forwards. Like I don't have a timetable on my wall that says, right, in March we're going to move on to this. I just move on to things as we move on to them. And I do genuinely hope that I do genuinely hope that you guys enjoy the content that I put out, because as most of you that have followed the channel for a while know, this isn't my day job. This is something I do on the side as a hobby for me, which means I don't get the huge amounts of recording and editing time that I'm going to call them professional YouTubers get, which means the way I have opted to try and do my videos is very much what I'd call an every click. So you guys get to see how I go about things, like everything. There are no pops, there are no suddenly it's done, there are no like cuts where I'm jumping from place to place. It's you see everything. The only thing I might do would be, I don't know, cut out a loading screen if we wound up having any games with them, but for the most part, you guys see everything I see, and I hope that's the style of content you enjoy. Yeah, I don't have much more to say on that other than just I'm glad you guys are along for the ride. I appreciate every person that watches the videos, and I'm looking forward to having another year and seeing how this goes. For those of you that are not channel members, I don't expect you or require you to be channel members. I'm never going to put any main content behind a paywall. The only thing that is for members only is normally these like monthly bulletins where I do this bit of an update, and I also do it as an AMA. So the channel members can fire direct questions at me, and I will answer them in sort of an audio format like this. But what I'm trying to get across there is I just appreciate you guys watching. That's literally it. That's all I need. For you guys to watch. I appreciate comments from you guys because I love having conversations with you guys in the comments. And yeah, it gives me that like happy feeling to have these discussions with you. So I hope everyone has had a lovely holiday season, regardless what style of holiday you choose to support's the wrong word, celebrate. Regardless what kind of holiday you choose to celebrate, I hope you had a nice time. You've been able to spend time with friends, family, or if you're a solitary figure that enjoys the peace and quiet, I hope you've had a nice relaxing peace and quiet time. But other than that, thanks all very much for joining me. Thank you very much to my channel members. I don't normally thank you guys on these because it's normally just for you guys. But like I say, as everyone's got access to this one, I'm giving you guys a thank you for it. So yeah, thank you all very much for that. I will be bringing it all back in the new year. In case you guys aren't on the Discord and haven't seen the post, the first video in the new year I am expecting to bring out on Tuesday the 7th of January, because I'm going to record on the 4th, edit on the Monday, which will be the 6th, and then those will kick off again from Tuesday and we'll start a whole new year. So yeah, thanks very much for joining me, and I hope you guys hang around for it.